Good morning, everyone, and the judges and the panelists. Sorry for the technical glitch. I don't know what was happening. I'm Dr. Sunny Makar. My topic is study of changes in ocular parameters of patients undergoing hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and there are no financial interests. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, it's a modality which enhances the body's natural healing process by inhalation of 100% oxygen in a closed chamber, and where the atmospheric pressure is controlled, and it is around 2.4 atmospheric pressures. And patient generally takes around 20 to 30 sessions depending on the diagnosis and the improvement of his condition. And the documented side effect is reversible myopia, the exact mechanism of which is not known, and there is very little reported literature on this, and there is none reported from India. So indications of hyperbaric oxygen was mainly in our cases were radiation cystitis, radiation proctitis, sensory neural hearing loss, non-healing ulcers, and osteoradionecrosis. And the aim of the study was to study the changes in refraction and structural parameters, that is best corrected visual acuity, anterior chamber depth, axial length, and keratometry in eyes of patients undergoing HBOT therapy. It study was conducted at a tertiary care hospital in Mumbai, and study duration was around 2 years, and the sample size was 32 patients, that is 64 eyes. And patients included were more than 18 years of age of either sex, so that axial length is stabilized by that, and who understood the study protocol. And patients excluded were who had undergone any refractive surgeries or who have any corneal curvature problems like keratoconus, ectasias, pterygium, corneal opacities, or those who have any impending loss of vision. It was a prospective observational study, and refraction was tested on automated refractometer, and rest of the parameters were tested on Zeiss IOL Master. So, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, it's given daily for around 6 days, barring Sunday, and the pressure is 2.4 atmospheric pressure, and it arises within 10 to 15 minutes. And there are 3 cycles of 30 minutes, which are interrupted by breathing air of normal air of 5 minutes between each cycle, and then the patients are decompressed over 7 to 10 minutes. And the parameters, they were evaluated at the start of therapy, at the end of session 12, and at the end of session 24. This is the diagram figure showing hyperbaric oxygen chamber and the patients inside sitting there. So the analysis, it was ocular parameters were considered as primary variable, and HBOT treatment was the explanatory variable, and the mean values were compared after session 12 and 24. And p value less than 0.05 was considered statistically significant. So number of eyes, as I told, 32 patients, and out of which 12 were males and 20 were females. And minimum age was 25 and maximum 68. And comparison of refraction showed net myopic shift of around minus 17 diopters, which was statistically not significant as compared to other studies which showed around 0.5 diopters. And trend line diagram showing refraction change. There is no net change in best corrected visual acuity, no net change in keratometry, no net change in anterior chamber depth, and no change in axial length. And subgroup analysis, all parameters were showed no significant difference in pre versus post treatment in males and females. Just female eyes were slightly shorter than male eyes by 0.25 mm. Limitation of the study was that reversibility of myopia could not be assessed. And to summarize, there were 3 main studies: Wenger et al., Andrews, and Fledelius. Wenger showed that myopia was due to the changes in crystalline lens. Andrews showed that statistically a significant correlation was there between hyperbaric oxygen therapy sessions and myopic shift. And Fledelius showed that no significant correlation could be found in any keratometry reading and refraction. So to conclude, the study was done to assess changes in ocular parameters, and the myopic shift was observed in majority of the patient, but the change was small as compared to that quoted in literature, so it's a safer modality. So attributability of myopic shift was no significant change was found in any of the parameters, but further studies might be helpful in knowing the exact mechanism of myopia, similar sample size, and further study of oxidative changes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sunny. Can you stop sharing the screen? It's very nice, very interesting, and I haven't seen a study of this type before. Really nice. So, over to any questions for Dr. Sunny?
Dr. Sunny, did you actually examine these patients? Was there any, because there's some reports of lens turbidity or change in the refractive index of the lens that has the cause for this myopic shift. Did you find anything on slit lamp biomicroscopy? Did these patients undergo a slit lamp biomicroscopy?
No, ma'am. These patients did not undergo any slit lamp evaluation because the study was conducted in Ashwini, Mumbai. The patients, they were civilian patients who mostly were oncology patients, and I took the permission so that I can just take the parameters, and because we can't register civilian patients in Navy hospitals, so just I took the parameters. We did not do any slit lamp examination, but I have read the studies that there have been changes in refractive index of the lens, and cataract have also been noted, but with around more than 70-75 sessions.
Right. Did you by chance get an opportunity to measure the IOP? Because there is also reports of IOP fluctuation.
Yes, ma'am. There have been reports of IOP fluctuation. Around 2 to 3 mm drop of IOP has been reported in previous studies. I took IOP for around 15 to 20 patients, but I did not find any change.
Okay.
And initial study, the IOP was not included, so I did not include that in my study.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.